This is J. Krishnamurti's first discussion with students in Saanen, 1968.
What shall we talk over together? The teacher and the school. The school in England, you mean? Or generally the teacher and the... Beg your pardon? Generally. So what is the function of the educator? Is it merely to convey information, to train the memory of the student, to pass some examinations, go to college, get a degree, and then get a job? Is that the function of the educator? Or is the function to help him to prepare for meeting this whole problem of existence, in which jobs are included, but much greater field is involved, the whole field of life. So can we discuss that? What is the function of a teacher in a good school? If you had children, what would you do? What do you want them to be? Just business people, professors, scientists, doctors, specialized human beings, technologists? Huh? Not only that. Then what would you want them to be?
Well, first and foremost, I'd expect them to be human beings who have found as much talent within themselves as is contained in them. Who found a freedom of expression.
So you would encourage self-expression.
I wouldn't stress that particularly, but I would urge them to try and find out what it is they really want from life, in life, of life, of themselves.
But do you think, it all depends, at what age would you begin to help them to find themselves? Or does that come much later at the college period, or as they pass from the school to the college?
I think that doesn't depend on the age so much of the child as of the parent.
That's it. So the educator. So we come back to the educator. Whether the educator be the parent or the actual teacher in a school. Which means the right type of educator. Right, sir? And are they right type of educators?
How do you find the right educators for the school in England?
God knows, sir. I don't know yet.
But I know that was the trouble with the schools in India.
Yes.
Definitely, they didn't have the right type of education.
Not at all. So as they're going to start a school in England with only 40 children, or not even that. What was 20, I believe we started. So we are going to discuss the kind of teacher, the kind of parent, the kind of children and all that. We haven't come to that stage yet.
But I find one of the difficulties is when they have a school in your name, that the teachers are trying to apply the things that they have heard you say to it. It's not their school. Nor is it yours. I understand that you're not there all the time. But instead of trying to do it themselves, they're always waiting for you to come or depending on you.
That's what took place in India. But we're going to do it differently here. At least we want to, we hope to. First of all, we're going to meet all the teachers, whoever they are, and discuss with them before they start the school evening. Could we move from the school to something wider for the time being? Huh?
Can you really disassociate the desire for psychological survival to that of physical survival? For example, you gave the example last time that one should still plan, for example, to catch one's train. But is there really such a distinction between one's physical needs and psychological needs? And aren't they interwoven?
Sir, all right, shall we discuss that? Is there a difference between psychological needs and physical needs? Why do you divide it so sharply? Is that right? First of all, we need there are physical needs, right? Food, clothes, and shelter. And are there any psychological needs at all? Vipan?
If there are any psychological needs, surely it means that one is dependent.
Yes. First of all, let us take facts as they are, not what are the psychological needs? What do we say are our psychological needs? Let us go into it slowly. Why do we need psychological? What are our psychological needs? Huh? You say to express oneself. Why? Why do I want to express myself? No, sir. Do take that one thing and go into it, if I may suggest. Why do we want to express ourselves?
To communicate.
Is communication self-expression? Huh? No. No, sir, you do go step by step into it.
Satisfaction.
I want to express myself. Here I am. I'm sitting on the platform. I want to express myself. Which means what? What are the implications there? Huh? Yes, so what is implied in that? I'm using you to express myself. Huh? Obviously. And I get pleasure, a satisfaction, a sense of domination, and trying to convey something to you which I feel important, all that. So, and why do I want to express myself? And use you for my expression? Why?
Are we still referring this to the child? Because in that case it would be rather different.
No, sir, just when we moved away from the child a little bit, I want that we said we'd enter a little wider field for the moment and come back perhaps a little later to that. Why do I want to express myself? That's what I want. I want to stick to that because that may lead us to something.
Empty?
Huh?
You feel empty?
No, not do you feel it. You look at yourself. Not.
I feel empty.
Because I want to feel important.
Just living. I want to feel that I am something live. That's living.
He said, I feel I want to be important. I mean, look at her. A violinist uses his instrument to express himself in playing Mozart, whatever he's playing. He is using the instrument to express himself. So music is not important, right? The violin isn't important. What is important is to him is to express himself. And the artist. And so on, so on. Now, why do we want to express ourselves?
To reach a state of peace.
Huh?
To reach a state of peace.
To reach a state of peace. Do you, by expressing yourself, reach a state of peace?
You could use it to delve deeper into yourself, and by expressing it, making it either clearer or less clear to yourself, depending on the success with which you do this.
No, but why do I want success in it? I want to express myself, right? That most people do. And I say, why do I want? Is it because I am investigating myself and I want to convey it to you so as to make it clearer to myself?
Well, in some forms of communication, this is so. In others, not.
No,
It
not
depends
in...
on what we're talking about. If we're talking about mere talking that occurs between people.
No, sir, we're not talking that. We're not saying that. We are saying, why is it that all of us want to fulfill in some direction or another?
Feel worthwhile.
Beg pardon?
Feel worthwhile. To feel worthwhile.
To feel worthwhile. Is that the reason?
We're not satisfied.
Is it not a human attribute, and do we not, most of us, strive to be, in some ways at least, like other human beings?
Is it one of the instinctual demands of a human being to fulfill himself? Not like every other human being. Every human being wants to fulfill himself in some degree or in some way or another. And I ask myself, why?
It gives us a kind of pleasure.
We want to assert ourselves.
To?
We want to show our individuality, to assert ourselves over everybody else.
Is that it? To give importance to individuality?
Show that we are somebody. We do not want
Yes, that's what was suggested. That gentleman said, give importance to ourselves. Why? Huh? Because we seek security?
It gives us a sense of security.
Because we feel a sense of security in a... Which one?
You feel we are nothing?
But surely we grow up in a world where assertion is being carried out by other people. And if you take not the newborn babe, but anyone who's grown a little more further than that, this person finds himself in a world full of people who do assert themselves, who do dominate him, who give him orders. And therefore it is very natural for him to respond in like fashion.
So, you're saying when one is aggressive, the older generation is aggressive, and the younger people also want to be aggressive, and therefore there is conflict. We are not. Is that the reason why we want to express ourselves?
In a group of people where so many do,
I mean, in a group of people, some who are killing themselves,
all but one probably will.
Yeah, but yes, sir. Is that the criterion? Because lots of people.
The question as an explanation of what is, rather than what might well be.
Therefore, I'm asking, why do I want to fulfill myself? Huh? Could it be out of fear? Please, before you answer me, if I may suggest, don't you want to fulfill yourself in some way or another? Huh? As an artist, as a writer, as a business, whatever it is. Don't you want to fulfill yourself?
Many
Huh?
moments.
Huh?
Many moments.
Yes, so you do. Why? Find out. Why?
Listen, that you are destined.
Is that our destiny to fulfill ourselves?
No.
Surely it is connected with the question of finding out what we are individually ourselves.
No, sir. Surely not. Here I am. Look, sir, here I am sitting on the platform. I want to fulfill myself. Right?
Well, I don't know how much time you give yourself for that, but you say...
I am dealing with it. I'm saying, why? Why do I want to fulfill myself? What is the reason? This hectic rush of every human being to fulfill. What for?
Otherwise, he thinks he's nobody.
He thinks he's nobody? That's why we want to fulfill ourselves?
I don't know.
Not. We are conditioned to do this. That may be the answer. Because everybody is doing it, therefore I do it. I don't say, what does this urge to fulfill mean? What does it mean? And is there, find out, is there such thing as self-fulfillment? It may be an illusion. That's right, sir. I want to fulfill myself because everybody is doing it, that's one reason. And also I am conditioned that way. And another is I feel very empty. I feel lonely. I feel inwardly I am not sufficient in myself. Therefore, I must, out of that emptiness, do something to fill that emptiness. Is that it? I wish we could go at this question step by step. Otherwise, we'll get lost in this. It's really a very important question because this is one of the major problems of human beings. Everybody, doesn't matter what race, color, religion, whatever it is, he wants to fulfill, he wants to be somebody, he wants to achieve something. Right? What for?
Make some changes.
Huh?
Change conditions or improve the world.
To improve the world? To improve the world, I fulfill myself. Which is, I battle with everybody to fulfill myself.
Then there is a fear. In case I don't fulfill myself, I am lost in a specific kind of depths. I am not coming in anybody's eyes.
But surely this word fulfill does not mean the same thing to all of us or to all people. What is fulfillment for one is a futile occupation for another.
No, sir. We are using that word to fulfill, to be somebody, to become somebody, to achieve a success, to use somebody in order to get something, to use the violin, the piano, the Beethoven, Mozart, in order to show myself off.
Yet for some, all this that you have mentioned is not fulfillment.
Well, then they find it somewhere else.
They might find it somewhere else.
They might indeed.
I might find my fulfillment in the family, in sex, in painting pictures, in talking, in writing a book, on doing nothing of this kind, going to a monastery. So when we use that word, it implies all this. And I say to myself, why am I demanding this fulfillment on the platform, whatever it is? Why?
Well, we see our littleness.
Huh?
We see our littleness, and then we decide to go out.
First of all, I ask myself, I want to fulfill. And is there such thing as fulfillment? Huh? No, sir. I can go old and die, but that's not the point. I am asking if there is such thing as fulfillment. I want to fulfill. I want to be somebody. I want to become somebody. I want to write a poem, this, fulfill. And I say, is there such thing?
Wouldn't accepting oneself be fulfilling?
Before I can say I'm afraid, therefore I want to fulfill, I am lonely, I am empty, I am trodden down, therefore I must assert myself, I must copy the world which is chasing fame, success and all that. Before I come to that, I must find out if there is such thing as fulfillment. Beg your pardon? Human beings have to exist to fulfill. You see that? That's why we said. So, because they are empty, because they are lonely, because they are afraid, they want to fulfill. But why don't, if I am not afraid, would I want to fulfill? Wait.
Could I suggest that essentially it is a state of dissatisfaction with the present moment that will cause you to desire to move in some direction that appears to be fulfillment or promise?
Promise. All right. Why am I discontented with the present? If I understand that, I need not fulfill.
Well, that's reasonable enough, certainly.
Sorry.
Maybe there's a longing to make a contribution.
Longing to make a contribution to society, to
seeing one smallness, one would like to make a contribution towards the whole, the all.
that if I see I'm a very small person, my mind petty, narrow, shallow, and all the rest of it, my first job is not to fulfill. I want to remove that narrowness, and then I'll see what I will do with it. Is life itself fulfillment? So we must be clear about that word. Huh? When we use the word fulfillment, what do we mean? So that we can communicate with each other and not go back and forth. What does that mean, that word fulfillment? Self-fulfillment. You understand? Not just fulfillment. I want to fulfill myself. I want to become somebody. I want to achieve something. I want to fulfill myself in the family. I want to fulfill myself in doing good work. I want to fulfill myself in playing the piano or writing a book, painting a picture, or becoming a politician, which would be horror. So what is it we want? And why is it we demand such a fulfillment? You're not following this.
I want to fulfill myself because I'm not myself.
I see. You want to fulfill yourself because you are not yourself. Then find out what yourself is. And not fulfill. Sorry.
I think there is pleasure in being recognized and praised by other fellow men. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pleasure in being recognized as a great man. Really, who cares? Actually, whether you think I'm a great man or not, why do I care?
The ego, satisfying the ego.
Satisfying the ego. What for? You're not answering my question.
We want to have the task in our mind.
Please do, let's be clear and simple about this matter. I want to fulfill, right, in different directions or in one direction only. And I say to myself, before I fulfill myself, what is there to fulfill? What am I fulfilling? Is it because I'm afraid? Is it because I'm empty? Which is using you to fill that emptiness. Right? Can I use you to fill that emptiness?
I feel like I'm dissatisfied with the image I have of myself, and I want to change it into
Is that, sir, look, sir, I have an image about myself, and I want to break it and create a new image. I am dissatisfied with one, and I want to create a new one. And when after creating a new one, I shall be dissatisfied with that.
What's the idea?
So I'll move on to another image, right? Creating images about myself, each time being dissatisfied with it and changing it. And you call that fulfillment?
That's my idea.
First of all, why do I have an image about myself at all? What is the need of an image about myself?
It is already there. It is already built upon it.
Beg your pardon?
It is already what through education, through learning, through parents and society. It is already built up within.
You are saying the image is already established by society, by parents, through education and so on. Huh? Then break it.
At moments you realize.
No, not at moments. I am not at moments hungry and the next I want food whenever I am hungry. No, sir, you're not.
Surely there is something unfair in the question that you put to us. In this sense, yes, it may be amusing, that when you ask the question at first, you seem to guide us to, or focus our attention on society as it is. And society at large, whichever you may take, doesn't stop to think why it really is doing something.
Of course not.
It is chasing images, it is chasing fulfillment, and many other aims and targets. And then if you revert the question to us, why do we, personally, each one of us here, does this? Well, the question changes in its quality. Perhaps we're no longer doing it quite with the same zest, having stopped to think. We may yet be full of illusions, and it seems that for some of us, no doubt, one of the ways of fulfillment would be a different type of success, and that would be to find out what we really are and whether we really want to chase any further, and what it might be.
So that's what we are trying. Let's forget society, let's forget the outer world for the moment, because you can't forget it, but it's there. Why do I, you or X, want to fulfill? Why do I, in a different way from you, and she in her own way, why do you want to fulfill? What is this urge? You see, we are going round and round. We are not...
All right, can I bring in another illusion? And that is that probably most of us individually feel that life must have some sort of purpose,
Voilà.
some significance.
Voilà. So you say, living has no meaning, and let's find a purpose. And in the finding of that purpose, there is a fulfillment of ourselves. It is a rather long way. I wish you would stick to this. Let's get moving.
This conditioned mind believes that there is someone around to experience fulfillment.
Sir,
It sees itself
look, sir. You want to fulfill in one way, don't you? Now, why?
because I think that there's someone around to fulfill, to become fulfilled.
No, sir, you're not. That. I want. Let me take. I want to fulfill, by using the audience, right? Because you are there, and I use you to fulfill myself. And I say, why am I doing this?
For yourself.
Yes, which means what?
Ego.
No, don't reduce it.
Self-centered activity.
Which means I want to use you in order to achieve a satisfaction. Right? Right? So you are not important, but my satisfaction is the most important thing. Right?
Well, I don't believe that.
No, not a question. It is not a question of you believe or not believe. That's what we're all doing. We're all using somebody for our own satisfaction. And this process is called fulfillment. It may be the person, it may be a painting, it may be music, it may be an instrument, it may be writing a book, painting a picture, using the means to an end which is satisfaction for myself. Right? And I said, yes, sir.
Is it not possible that you are here doing all these things without wanting to fulfill?
Is it not possible to?
To do all these things without wanting to fulfill.
Is it possible to do all these things without wanting to fulfill? That would be marvelous. If you play the violin and say, well, I pay for the very love of it. You follow? I don't care whether there is an audience, whether there is an impresario, whether I'm criticized, not criticized. I love what I'm doing. Now wait a minute. Can I say that? Not theoretically. Can I do that? And not possible. Beg your pardon?
If you love doing something, it's because you get satisfaction, again fulfillment.
Again, yes, you see. Yeah. So why is there this craving for satisfaction? Let's take it from there, shall we? Huh?
Because we're not happy.
So do please go into it. Why is there this urge to be satisfied? I need food to be satisfied, to have energy, and so on. But why do I demand this satisfaction? I wish you would stick to that and go into it. And is there such thing as satisfaction? I may get satisfied by talking, which means I must keep on talking for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I'll be dissatisfied. Huh? Yes. So first of all, I don't want to be dissatisfied. Why not? What's wrong with dissatisfaction?
We don't like dissatisfaction, it's obvious. Nobody likes being dissatisfied. It's a state of frustration, one doesn't like to be in it. It's like a state of being half drowned, one tries to get out.
All right, sir.
A living
All right.
force which thrusts us in that other direction.
Right. But if I, being discontented with the world as it is, with myself as I am, with everything around me dissatisfied, because it's so ugly and brutal, I am discontented with it, right? I say I want to change myself. And is that discontentment pushing me towards seeking contentment?
It certainly gives you a stimulus to try and get out of it, yes.
Now, should I get out of it? You people, should I get out of my discontent?
It's a painful state.
What?
It's a painful state.
All right, it's a painful state, but is there... No, you see, you're not...
Well, if you're wise, you will stay in the discontent and understand what it is.
That's all.
But most of us are not wise.
Then that's what we're trying to find out. Discontent is painful, and I say, I don't like it. I must change it. And go to that, and there again find discontentment. So I say, why am I discontent? That's the first thing. Because I am discontent because I am seeking contentment. I have tried this, that. They have all brought dissatisfaction, discontent. Perhaps that will give me greater contentment. So I try that. I never question whether there is contentment at all. And therefore, discontent has a different meaning then. If there is no such thing as contentment, then discontent has a different significance. Right? So, first, I must find out if there is such thing as contentment. I achieve fame, but there is somebody much more famous than me. So I'm discontent with what little fame I have. So I want more. So I see there is no such thing as contentment. Ever.
Can one really be so dogmatic about it?
Oh yes, for me I am. Not dogmatic, it is so. I want to become the Prime Minister. I do everything to become the Prime Minister, and that gives me great contentment. But next election I'm going to lose it. So I play tricks and all kinds of things to be contented. No. So for myself, it's very clear. There is no such thing as contentment. There is only discontent. And I want to find out if that discontent has been aroused because I have sought contentment. If I am not seeking contentment, then is it discontent?
It's neither.
So mine is that then I am not discontent. It's something else.
There is a lot of energy then, but if you don't know what to do with it...
We come to that. You see, you don't go step by step. So you are neither contented nor discontented, right? Can you say that honestly to oneself? No, you can't say often. You can't say, well, I'm a liar often. Either you are or you're not.
No, that is not true. I'm sorry. You're a liar and yet speak the truth.
No, sir. No, I'm saying, I don't say you do. I say, either we must be very clear in ourselves when we say there is no such thing as contentment. You understand, sir? See it very clearly. Then that is the truth. You can't go back on it. So, of course it does.
But then we continue in the same direction.
No, there's no question of realizing something intellectually. That's just phony. I can't say, well, I realize intellectually that snake is poisonous and go and touch it. Either it's poisonous and I don't touch it. I don't say, well, so it's clear. It's only when I don't see clearly that we say intellectually I understand. Do I understand, not understand, do I see very clearly, once and for all, not just sporadically, that there is no such thing as contentment?
The moment when one becomes harmonious, one lives for it, that moment he must be content with that moment also.
No, sir, I took that only as an example, sir. If I am not seeking contentment, then what happens to that energy which I have called discontent? What happens to it? So if I see that all religions, doesn't matter what they are, and all gurus have no meaning, right? I see that very clearly. And if I see that, I'll never go to any church, to any temple, to any guru. Finished, right? Because through them, I'm trying to gain certain content. Not only content with the mind, and also contentment. So I won't touch it. Finished. Then what happens with that energy, which I have expended in chasing all the gurus, going to all and all the rest of it? What happens to that energy?
It has nowhere to go.
I have used it. That energy has been used to go to various gurus and temples and churches and all that. I haven't gone. That's finished. Therefore, I've got still that energy, haven't I? Huh? Either it must be used or it dissipates, right? I don't know if you're meeting all this, right? Now, how is it to be used? And who is it that is using it? That energy can be turned into aggression. Or in activism, that is doing good, changing this and changing that, right? So what do... You have given it up, right?
Yeah, I don't mean that. Because our discussion for moving along, we've given up the search for contentment, and we've got actually imagine some of all these sort of things that actually just press it, don't they?
Right. Then what do you do with that energy which you have expended in doing various other things? You suddenly discover they are futile, but you've got this energy, right? What
We're much more able to look.
Huh? I can't hear, sir.
It's not a question of what you do with it.
It's not a question of what you do with it, I agree. But how is it going to do, what will happen to it? Huh? Not so easily, sir.
You might very well sleep on it and do nothing with it at all.
You get depressed.
Sir.
Then you use it to understand yourself.
So it's like energy is like steam. If you don't use, if that steam is not being used, it's going to explode. And it can explode, that's what's happening in the world. It's going to explode into aggression, into violence, into various forms of suppression, oppression. That's what's going on. Huh?
You can give it away.
What are you talking about? No, sir, please, sir.
If one has really stopped going anywhere, chasing anything else, then there isn't ego left, and then there is no question how to use it.
So have you stopped it? No. Therefore, don't discuss if one does. It's such a futile waste of energy. Say, if we could change the world, it would be marvelous, and discuss how to change it.
You're doing that, sir. You said if one has seen clearly that any kind of ambition is futile, one has a lot of energy. What is one going to do with this energy? But one presumably hasn't seen this clearly. So
No, sir, I don't say that, sir. I don't say that, sir. Please do listen, sir. I have wasted my energy in seeking contentment, right? And I find there is no such thing. But I have got still that energy. And if that energy is not, doesn't find a right outlet, it's going to explode, right? It's going to explode in violence, in hatred, in various forms of aggression. So, who is to use that energy? Please follow this minute. Huh? And how is it to grow, to function? I have that energy. Will the military come and take it? Will I become a soldier? Or a priest or a businessman? It must be used. It must, otherwise it'll explode.
I use them to look at myself.
I use that energy to look at myself. I've looked at myself. I've looked at myself and find that I'm always seeking contentment. Right? So I've looked at it, and that's one look is enough. I use that energy to express myself. We are back again. That energy has been accumulated instead of being dissipated. It was dissipated when it was trying to fulfill itself through contentment, through various forms of pleasure and pain. And I see all that, and I say, by Jove, how silly all this is. And I've got this tremendous energy.
But is it confined then?
Huh?
Is it confined?
It's not confined, but it has to be used.
Well, then it could be used or dissipated, both of which happen in one way or another.
So, then it's such a waste of life.
Certainly, but that's what happens.
I won't let it happen. I say that's an absurd state.
So are many others, quite absurd.
I know. That way I don't want to live. I want to find a right means of using this energy. What? Yes, sir, that's who uses it. That's it. So, follow this carefully. I wish you would. It's very interesting, this question. There is this energy bubbling in me. Who is going to use it? Huh? No. Creating children?
Then maybe you are ready to start to be a teacher.
No, sir. No, sir. I have this energy. It must be used. Otherwise it will explode into all forms of misery. And who is the entity that is going to use it? Right? Government is going to use it? I don't... No. That crooked crowd going to use this energy? I won't have it. The army, the priest, the businessman, through his propaganda, through his... all the rest of it, that's too silly. Wait, sir, follow it, sir. Follow it step by step. Then I am only responsible for using it, right? I won't let anybody use it. Therefore, I am responsible, right? And what am I? Am I capable of using this? I, who am greedy, follow it. Suspicious, ambitious, competitive, fearful. Can I use this tremendous energy?
We got it from getting rid of all those things.
That means I must get rid of those.
That's where the energy came from.
Then can I get rid of that?
But we're going to have the invisible energy.
What? No. So I have that energy to dissipate the user. Right? To dissipate fear. To dissipate this desire for position, prestige. To dissipate the center that's always seeking its own importance. And in doing that, there's much more energy. Well, that's up to you now.
But how can the center dissolve the center? That seems to be...
How can the center dissolve the center? What is the center? The person. What is the person? Go into it, sir. Go into it. What is the person?
The individual who seeks his goals and dissolving himself could be...
What is the person? Me. What is that me?
An idea.
My ambition, my greed, my house, my wife, my children, my fear, my cherished memories and ugly memories, all that is me, right? No? And that says, I must be active all the time to get more and more. And that center is going to use energy, is using energy all the time. So can that center be dissolved? That is the real question, not to fulfill, not to become. Can that center which is so disruptive, so corrupt, can that be dissipated?
How can the center dissipate of the soul?
How can the center itself dissipate itself, right? How is that center brought into being? Think it out, sir. Go into it. What gives a continuity to that center? Huh? Memory, which means thought, right? Thought gives a continuity to the me. My house, my thinking about it, my house, my wife, my children, my job, my ambition, my greed, my position, right? Thought is doing that. So, next thing is, what is thought? Thought is memory, right? And I said, can thought come to an end? You know, sir, you can take a drug. There are several forms of drugs that can put an end to thought. And when they do take those drugs, they have an extraordinary feeling of expansion. Extraordinary feeling of nearness to things. Space between the observer and the observed disappears. And if you do that, you have to keep on taking the drug, which has its own bad effects and all the rest of it. So, I won't take drugs. So is there a way of ending thought? Obviously there is. Which means mind being completely quiet. Not dead, it has its own memories of all that, but completely quiet. Well, right, sirs? You become silent. Have you ever tried to keep the mind quiet? Huh? No, sir.
So that doesn't put an end to thought, because the moment something comes up which seems to challenge what we used to call the ego, the thought will spring straight back into action again. So the question is, do we have to actually sit here and start suppressing thought?
No.
Is it just a question of not taking it seriously
No.
anymore?
Please do listen 2 minutes. Thought, we said, is response of memory, right? Right? Now, why do we accumulate memories? Huh?
We always have.
We've always had. We've always killed each other. Is that the reason? So why do I have memories? I must have memories. You understand, sir? House, going to the house, recognizing you and all the rest of it, my job and all that. But why do we carry it about with us, these memories? There are pleasant memories and there are unpleasant memories, right? We want to keep the pleasant memories and discard the unpleasant memories. And so there is a conflict going on between the pleasant and the unpleasant, right? Right, sirs? And those are pleasant I want to keep. Not I want to keep, that's the only thing that matters, pleasant memories. So psychologically, the whole structure of thought is based on this pleasure. Right? Yeah, are we getting too serious? You know, there are various schools in the East, in Japan and in India and so on, where they train you to keep your thought quiet. You know, those are monkey tricks. You understand? They're monkey tricks. They're not worth a straw. Any person can train his mind to be quiet, train it, force it, control it. But that's not quietness, it's death. So, is there a way of bringing about a quietness and yet living here, living in this world?
So when one is so stuck with the question that it commands one's entire attention, there's no room for thought. It's just...
That's right, sir. That's right, sir. When there is complete attention, there is no thought. And why don't we give complete attention? Complete attention. Why don't we give it? As you are listening now, why don't you give your complete attention? You know what it means to give complete attention? When you give your complete attention, your body becomes very quiet, doesn't it? There is no thought in it. You are listening with your heart, with your mind, with your ears, with everything you have. Right? That's all. And most of us are, most of the time, inattentive. It is the inattention that says, I will train myself to be attentive. I don't know if you follow all this. Then we say, how am I not to be inattentive? You follow? All that you do is don't be inattentive. Attend. There are periods when you have to be inattentive, otherwise you can't keep it. So you be inattentive. But when you have to give your attention, give it completely. And so, when you give attention to find out the need of, what's the need of memory, you know what's important, what is its importance and where it is not important. Caesar. That's why, sirs, if I may suggest, give your attention one day completely to looking at a tree. That's the most easiest thing to begin with. Look at the tree completely with total attention. See what happens. Huh? You look at that tree, sir, and find out why thought interferes. Give attention to find out why thought interferes. Forget about the tree. It is thought that gives space between you and the tree. And your relationship to the tree is merely intellectual, is verbal. There is no relationship. It's like a man and a wife, husband and wife, they have an image about each other. Right? the image they have built through years of marriage. Insults, jealousies, hurts, flattery, sex, pleasure, pain, all the image about each other. And these two images have relationship, right? And that, which is utterly no relationship at all. So can one live without an image? Can you look at that tree without any image? Do it sometime and you'll see what extraordinary thing takes place. Right, so that's enough. Huh? When do we meet next?
Friday morning to 11.
Friday morning at 11 o'clock, sirs.